Live stream here. We're back, and Paris Saint Germain already went to make a signing ahead of the Club World Cup. We obviously know about Franco Massantuono, which is something we can also discuss in this quick live stream. Real Madrid at the moment are pushing for Franco Massantuono ever since Paris Saint Germain were progressing in the fight. So we have some competition regarding Franco Massantuono. But Paris Saint Germain, according to reports, have always been looking for a right winger and a right-footed centre back. And this is the right-footed centre back they were looking for, which is Illia Zabarnyi. Breaking, PSG have made an offer for Bournemouth centre-back Illia Zabarnyi, 22 years of age. The player loves the PSG project and has agreed to join the club that Bournemouth aren't keen to sell him. Luis Campos has traveled to Bournemouth today to make a bid. So they're talking about a potential bid already being made. I don't know if the numbers have been dropped, but they're saying Bournemouth are looking for around 50 million euros. Is a defensive priority for PSG. The capital clubs also have the Ukrainian defender in its ranks for the Club World Cup. So him and Franco Massantuono are two players that we want to have ahead of the Club World Cup already. We can see a lot of clubs are also looking for to get players into the Club World Cup. Is a report from Fabrice Hawkins. Exclusive, Paris Saint Germain have made an offer for Illia Zabarnyi. So we've already made an offer. According to English sources, the Parisian club sporting director sporting advisor Luis Campos was ordered in England in Bournemouth on today morning. The Ukrainian international excited about the Parisian project and has given his approval to join the capital. PSG wants to move on quickly on this matter. Alright, so Fabrice has already told us here that Zabarnyi has approved basically an agreement, verbal agreement to join Paris Saint Germain. I mean, this isn't a surprise. I mean, he's played for Bournemouth. The European champion is also working on another lead involving a player who plays in the Premier League. The name has not been disclosed. Very interesting. Could that be competition for another right-footed centre-back if we cannot get Zabarnyi? Or is it maybe another position that, hasn't been mentioned or anything? But I remember I did find a report that mentioned a 50 million fee. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. Okay, I can't translate it here, but it said something about 50 million. Let's do Spanish to English. Some reason you can't translate that on Twitter. According to PSG, made an offer for Illia Zabarnyi, Bournemouth centre-back who has had a great season in Ukraine to play for Champions League. The transaction would cost around 50 million. Because I've heard that our bid could have been 50. Illia Zabarnyi should PSG this summer for some less than 50 million. All right, so the price of the potential bid has not been disclosed yet, from what I can see. Will exceed 50 million. So they're saying it's going to be around 50 million. I don't know why or how the transfer fee, that the so-called bid that we've made to Zabarnyi has not been mentioned yet in the reports. That's a bit weird. Safanov, Russia, him, Ukraine. Yeah, that's very interesting because that was obviously the reason Zabarnyi was not going to be joining us in January. We're obviously linked with both Zabarnyi and Khosanov, from what I remember. Back in January, we were looking for centre-backs. And the report regarding it mentioned that because we have Safanov, because he's Russian, and because Zabarnyi is Ukrainian, we were scared that we were going to have some political dispute at the club and so on. Obviously, that could have just been a lie for the reporters that we were not getting the player. But I don't know the exact reason why it did not happen. Struggling to find it now. I think it's here, yeah. Here's my video around it. 50 million for improving centre-back. I mean, Pacho, I mean, because when I saw 50, I was like, we should move away. I tweeted that. But someone mentioned Pacho. We got Pacho for around 40 million. They're saying the price is going to be around 50. It could be 40 plus 10 in bonuses. But Pacho was also signed as an unproven centre-back. And look at him now. He was basically the best Champions League centre-back. So honestly, for me, I got to understand that. I got to put the thing to the side. Look, Luis Campos knows his stuff. If he thinks Zabarnyi is good enough, then he is good enough. Luis Enrique is also validating the Zabarnyi file, so that's good. And this is what the report mentioned before. Zabarnyi does not want to be a conflict in case of a mistake on an action with Safanov. The club have even thought about selling the Russian, Safanov, but the idea was abandoned by Tanzi and Menshunwa. So we were obviously linked with Zabarnyi earlier on, but this was the reason they said we did not sign him. And how do I feel about the signing? It's good. We were looking for a right-footed centre-back. It looks like potentially the opinion about Marquinhos has potentially changed. Maybe Marquinhos stays for one more year and now we sign a backup like we did with Pacho. Again, he plays for Bournemouth and he's a centre-back, so you can't really look at statistics and all of that. But both him and obviously Dean Huijsen have created a really great centre-back partnership. They're at Bournemouth. Let's look at data and see if we can find anything here. Dub. 50 million is out of pocket, but he's a good player. Tall, strong, and high IQ. Yeah. Zaba is better than Huijsen. All right. I mean, I don't watch Bournemouth, so I don't know, but he could be. He looks to be. He looks to be good. Let's take a look at his stats here. Maybe they tell us something. Zabarnyi. All right, this is Zabari. So great carrying. I think both him and Hussein obviously very good with that. Dual percentage very high. That's very good to see. Defensive actions, progressive passes as well. So he's good with the ball. That's very important for us. That's for me the biggest upgrade you can possibly make on Marquinhos. Aerial percentage as well. Let's take a look at him on Transfer. Big up to Muzz United fan. I was Donnarumma. No, I don't want to give you Donnarumma. Didn't Zabani said they will now jump pieces because of Safanov? Yeah, that's what the reports back in January that we just looked at mentioned, but the situation potentially has changed. Or he's like, yeah, I don't care. Let me be with a Russian. So I don't really know what changed regarding that. That's something a lot of us PSG fans. So he has a really strong contract until 2029, 42 million market value. So 50 million, honestly, it's not the worst. Obviously, it's prem tax. If Zabarnyi was performing the exact same level, but in, I don't know, let's take a mid-table team in Serie A, Bologna. If he was doing this for Bologna, it would cost maybe 30. But because he's doing it for Bournemouth, he's he got to be insane. And I mean, his market value has actually gone up in a normal way. Usually when PR hits a player, they just pop. But as you can see, he's been growing steadily, and he's been good for Bournemouth. I don't watch Bournemouth, so I don't know that much about him, but he looks to be a great player. And once again, Luis Campos and Luis Enrique being after him just tells you that he's a good player. He's been better than Hussein this season, by the way. Dub. He's not been better. Hussein has been top 4 Prem defenders. These guys don't watch the Prem and not try to absolute BS. Show Pacha 23-24. Ooh, that's a good one. Obviously, Frankfurt and Bournemouth, not the same teams. Frankfurt way more offensive and so on, but we can see carrying Zabarnyi takes it. Dual percentage Zabarnyi takes it as well. Probably maybe Pacha was going into a lot of them, but Pacha more defensive actions. Both around the progressive passes. Obviously, that's something we know that Pacha can improve on, and had more passes per game as well. Frankfurt having the ball more than Bournemouth. But if we compare it to like Jake Pacha from this season, remove Pacho last season, you can see because Pacho doesn't do that much progressive passes at PSG and not much carrying. So honestly, these two as a duo, they could be good. Why do we reject him in the winter then? We just looked at, look, this is what the report said back then. Zabarnyi does not want to be a conflict in case of a mistake of an action with Safanov. The club has even thought about selling the Russian, but the idea was abandoned. So this is from January. Marquinhos better than Zabarnyi on the ball. He's going nowhere. Fabrice said that. Yeah, it looks like the opinion about Marquinhos has changed. Can't say I've watched him much, but I also didn't watch Pacho, who turned out to be great, exactly. So my opinion is the same. Look, I think maybe 50 million is a bit overpriced for him, but, we're so rich. Everybody knows we're really rich. Premier League tax and everything. And Zabarnyi, I mean, he has a 42 market value. He's been good for Bournemouth for a couple of seasons now, so I'm all in for it. I'm all in for this. This was one of the positions we knew we had to upgrade. Obviously, I was looking at Konato, Pomicano, Campos, Lucho, and Paris Saint Germain are looking at different options, but let's get Zabarnyi. Let's try to finish off Franco Mastantuono as well. Get these both ahead of the Club World Cup. So we're ready for the Club World Cup. Is Muswando coming? Paris said he was still what? No, at the moment Madrid are pushing, so Madrid saw Paris Saint Germain advancing in the file. They immediately flew to River Plate. So there's going to be some competition for Franco at the moment, but we'll obviously get an update soon. But obviously, he will be joining in January. So obviously, yeah, Franco will not be part of the Club World Cup. If he joins Paris Saint Germain, he will join in January because he's only 17 and he wants to stay the full season with the River Plate. He impressed me more than the industry plan Madrid are getting every game I watched. All right, then. Dub. Yo, what's up, bossa? I'm just pissed that Madrid came back. Campos was cooking with lowering the Muswanto fee. Now Madrid's making us pay the release clause. Yeah. No, it's calm. 45 is a great price for Franco. I don't want Marquez to start, but if he accepts a Sandro, I'd love to keep him for the vibes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how it will be next season, but we'll definitely do a lot of rotation. We've also seen that Marquinhos, past couple of 3 seasons, he's gotten some injuries here and there. So there are going to be games where Zabani is going to start and so on. Zabani is not top 20 centre-backs in the Prem. Yeah, no, look, this report is from January. Khosanov obviously joined City in January. This report is in January by Zabarnyi. But yeah, to finish it off, 50 million, Let's take it. Right-footed centre-back, exactly what we needed. Luis Enrique wants him. Luis Campos wants him. He has already verbally agreed to join Paris Saint Germain. Bournemouth are, they're looking to sell him for 50 million, where Paris Saint Germain are looking to sell him as well. There will obviously be way more transfer updates in this summer transfer window. Hopefully you're updated. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and as usual, that's been it from boy PSG, and as usual, allez, Paris.